Welcome back everybody to Keeney K TV. When it comes to the featherweight division of the UFC, there really has only been one true rising star in the division, and that star is Dagestan's own Zabit Magomedsharipov. The reason as to why this man has all this steam behind him and hype really speaks for itself. The man does not go ahead and promote himself by using words, rather he just lets his hands do the talking. So in today's video, let us take a closer look at the rise and complete dominance of Zabit Magomedsharipov. The rise of Zabit has been nothing but spectacular. In the featherweight division, immediately from the get-go, his physical attributes already stand out. Being 6 feet 1.5 inches tall, the man is already a freak of nature for that weight class. He amplifies this advantage by also fighting very long. Immediately entering the range where he's going to be predominantly using long-range strikes. His much shorter opponent Moraes seemingly has no way of getting into Zabit. Now with the ability that Zabit has of keeping the opponents on the outside by either going in there, kicking them to the knee, body or head, the variety that this man possesses in his arsenal is always going to be very difficult for an opponent who is physically a lot smaller than him. In this case, whenever Moraes tried to come forward, Zabit's ability to keep the distance is very excellent. He does not waste energy as a high elite level fighter should be. Not overreacting to the incoming threats of Moraes, he simply just exits out the range or posts up on the opponent and he's already safe from that attack. It was exactly this that his opponent Moraes simply had no answers to. If he were to go ahead and kick Zabit would simply exit the danger zone and then come back with a devastating counter. You see, as this fight even played out from the get-go, it was very clear that Zabit was operating at a different level. His opponent Moraes was simply riding the waves and worrying about not drowning. However, as being completely dominated in the stand-up department was just not enough, Zabit is an excellent fighter at transitioning his striking with his grappling, continuously taking down Moraes and dominating him on the mat as well. He then was able to submit Moraes with only 30 seconds left in the final round with a very impressive anaconda choke. It is ridiculous to assume somebody like Zabit would just come into the UFC with all the physical attributes that he has. Additionally, with all of the skills that he has in the stand-up and ground game, the man looked seemingly ready for championship level fighting even from his first fight.
Stories from really high level fighters that Zabit may just be the best MMA fighter they've ever seen.
Let's look at Zabit's most known fight against the surprisingly game and tough Kyle Bochniak. The first round tells us always more than any other round on how things will play out in a fight. We see that the obvious approach for Bochniak is to close the distance. Kyle is a very tough, fast and powerful fighter, so as he's bobbing and weaving to get through Zabit's wide guard, he's able to get in range to connect with his shots. To deal with this high-intensity game plan of Kyle, Zabit's defensive skills start to show themselves. Powering out the jab to gauge the distance, he's very aware of where Kyle is to be hit. As Kyle is worrying about bobbing and weaving into the range, Zabit is walking in the direction of Kyle's power hand. This is something he kept doing, and I will be explaining why this was a big part of his game in this video just in a moment. Now, because he's trying to stay out of range, Zabit is going to the right side of Kyle. This opens up the check hook. A shot that was the most significant and effective way of stopping Kyle in his tracks. As Kyle's only success was by getting in range, he surely was not giving this up, as this was the best shot he has of beating Zabit. So as Zabit is a complete master of long-range attacks, the shorter Bochniak would simply just sign his own defeat if he fought in that way. In this sequence, Zabit is showing his incredible kick selection. As turning into Kyle's power side, he essentially had more openings to attack from. If he were to move to his own right side, away from the power hand of Kyle, the inside leg kick wouldn't have had the same strong impact that it did. He follows this up with a right front kick to the same leg. The first time he tried it, Kyle was out of range, so he cancelled it, but the second time he fully committed to it and was able to land it successfully. It was later revealed that Zabit had broken his hand in the locker room before the fight. That is exactly why after the right uppercut he landed, he did not throw many other right hand shots. However, taking away his right hand, that still left him with more tools in his arsenal than virtually everybody in the division. He did make use of his right hand by feinting it and setting up other shots, and he would only really throw it out of necessity when the time called for it. Zabit is as unpredictable in the grappling department as he is in the striking. Look at how smoothly he transitioned this sequence to take Kyle's back. From here, getting the mad return takedown. Or how about this slick outside trip he got? Pay close attention to Bochniak's movement. Zabit timed Kyle when he would rise back up, and as he's rising, he would have probably attempted to take a step in whichever direction. So, as he lifted his foot, Zabit had already timed it from when he dipped low and he was already coming back up high, easily being able to sweep the leg and trip him to the mat. All of this is done while being so calm and calculated even with a broken hand. It is exactly this mindset that keeps him in a flow state, where all of his drill techniques just come out instinctively. Zabit knew that every time Kyle would go into an attack, he'd dip down low first. Knowing this, he spammed for his spinning back kick as Kyle was dipping low, and he was able to land it perfectly. Just listen to the impact of the shot. The pure creativity this man has is simply eye-opening to the art of combat. However though, let's take a look at Zabit at his full potential without a broken hand. Against Brendan Davis, Zabit showed the improvements he made in his boxing from training with his coach Mark Henry. Having his right hand healed, his high guard against Davis, who was taller than his average opponent, this was exactly the right approach to have going into this fight. Being able to throw his right hand when he caught Davis's kicks, having perfect head movement while coming forward, but also going backwards. He was able to slip Davis's punches when he got backed up, and he was able to hit him with a big counter hook, as he had done to all of his opponents before. Ducking an attack to take the opponent's back was also present in this fight. It was very clear that Zabit's grappling was way better than Davis's, so it was only natural he took the fight to the mat and defeated him there. However, the manner at which he defeated Davis was the talk of the night, pulling off a rare banana split submission in the second round, defeating Davis. I lost myself inside of you. Looking at him as a total package, Zabit's abilities are truly a rare sight to behold. The complete package this man has of skill in every aspect of MMA is simply unheard of and possibly rivaled with the likes of John Jones, George St. Pierre, and Demetrius Johnson. And that says a lot about a fighter who is just at the brink of getting a title shot. You may think that holding him that high in status along with the all-time greats is premature, but I'm only referring to his abilities to manipulate all martial arts styles into his performances, and that's really what they are, performances, truly poetry in motion. While we may call Israel Adesanya the last stylebender, I believe that nickname is a lot more befitting to the Dagestan native. As Zabit went to a martial arts boarding school in his home country where he started at a very young age, the fact that he's able to pull off all of these maneuvers should really not come as a surprise, where they literally were his daily routines. Also, that is precisely why he's so very calm in all of his fights. I think the most riled up I've seen him was when he had faced off with Jeremy Stephens, and even that isn't something overly dramatic. A great resemblance with the legendary heavyweight Fedor Emelianenko, who never really showed signs of anger in or outside of fighting, something Zabit shares with him. It was also Fedor who was able to do things other heavyweights could not, exactly what Zabit is doing right now, presenting a high level of ability and mixing martial arts styles together. You never really knew if Fedor would go ahead and knock you out or submit you. The same goes with Zabit. Now for the foreseeable future, the title shot seems inevitable. Even though Zabit has looked nothing but sensational, he, as other fighters, is still beatable. And one area in his game that seems to be the most talked about is his stamina. Seemingly near the end of his fights, his output starts to drop, and he gets himself in tougher fights than what the opening round had suggested he'd be in. Now, it shouldn't really come as a surprise that this is the case. He's simply a man who likes to give the fans a show and throws many highlight reel type strikes. These will obviously take a toll on your energy, as it will do on everybody else. The output is pretty high for anybody who goes in the octagon and participates in a 3-round outing and present the wide range of skills Zabit has in his arsenal. I'd say this isn't really a weakness, but something that's pretty normal. Though he doesn't get as tired as people make it out to be in my opinion, in a 5-round fight, I highly doubt that you'll see Zabit jumping off of the cage in the very first round, as the preparation and pace of a 5-round fight will be significantly different. You also have to remember that Zabit is trying to impress, so he goes all out in his fights. You can't say that he ever held back or tried to preserve himself to go through all 3 rounds. So in the case of a 5-round fight, I believe that Zabit will lower his output, but that doesn't mean he'll win the rounds less convincingly. He will simply make the right adjustments in his output to stay in line with the championship round demands. However, in time, we shall all know the truth. For now, time will tell what will truly happen. Will Zabit rise to the occasion, or will he crumble under the bright lights? We will just have to wait and see. But for now, leave in the comment section down below what you think of Zabit Magomedsharipov. As always, I have been Keenan from Keenan KTV, signing off. Later.